See this pill? I helped invent it. It helps keep people alive, and that's why I do this after all. We had just started working on this when my father's heart problem started. It usually takes about 15 years to get a new drug ready. This one took almost 20. When it takes that long, two things keep you inspired. The millions you're going to help, and the one you couldn't.
GlaxoSmithKline. Today's medicines finance tomorrow's miracles.
People think scientists get inspired by only abstract things, you know, data, theories, petri dishes. Well, I also have Sarah. She's not abstract at all. Sarah was born with HIV. We met in my early days of research. Drug discovery is complex. It takes thousands of scientists working 14, maybe 15 years to develop just one pill. That adds up to about $800 million. It's taken 20 years, but we've gone a long way toward eliminating HIV in children. I've stayed at GlaxoSmithKline because we are committed to beating this disease. Our girl's in college now. Some people think drug research is too expensive. I can't think of a better way the money could have been spent. Or my life.
GlaxoSmithKline. Today's medicines finance tomorrow's miracles.
It was so frustrating, like a mystery I couldn't solve. Night after night, strange sensations in my legs. I had to get up and move when all I wanted to do was rest. I had restless leg syndrome. My doctor said RLS symptoms usually get worse when it's time to relax. And then he said something else. Requip. He said Requip would help relieve those RLS symptoms that were making my nights so difficult. He told me what to watch for, that Requip may cause you to fall asleep or feel very sleepy during normal activities such as driving, or to faint or feel dizzy when you stand up. Tell your doctor if you experience these problems, or if you drink alcohol or are taking medicines that make you drowsy. Also, tell your doctor if you experience new or increased gambling, sexual, or other intense urges while taking Requip. Side effects may include nausea, drowsiness, vomiting, and dizziness. Thanks to Requip, the RLS mystery is not keeping me up anymore. Ask your doctor about Requip.
You're looking for talent. You're looking for people who communicate well, who've got great attention to detail, who've got strong work ethic. You know, and a lot of that can be communicated through resumes, but a lot of times it's also communicated through interviews, through just discussions, you know, and really kind of, you know, seeing the person's personality and seeing how they work with people. Attention to detail, hard work ethic, definitely intelligence and being able, not just book smarts, but street smarts too. Being able to pick things up, being able to adapt to situations. There's a long list of things. Being able to work within a team, being able to lead other people. I mean, some of that stuff you develop on the job. So I mean, there's not a lot of stuff you can catch, but what you're looking for is that stock. You're looking for the person who has those talents underneath, and you know, something that I can take as a supervisor, and I can take that and I can develop that, you know, and bring out even more, and make the person a huge asset to the company. I think my favorite question would be, you know, tell me about a time when you've dealt with a very difficult challenge and what you've done to overcome that challenge. You know, and the reason I like to ask that question is because it not only does it shows a person's ability to adapt, it shows a person's ability to think on their feet, to learn from the situation around them, to gather all of the information that's there, to make smart decisions, and to not only, and it's not just about making decisions, it's also working with people. And a lot of times those challenges are people challenges, a lot of times it's business challenges, but that's really what you want to see. You want to be able to see that person's ability to handle pressure, right? To adapt under pressure, and to take all the information that's given to them and to communicate things well.
You will now hear about another risk, the magnitude of which a drug company was unwilling to acknowledge for so long. You're about to meet two young women who say once you're on an antidepressant, it's hell to get off. Manufacturers call it discontinuation.
zap, zap, zap. It feels like electricity in the back of your head. It feels like your brain is actually seizing up.
Some patients call it agonizing withdrawal.
My whole body would be shaking as though my nervous system is on the fritz.
Primetime's investigation discovered evidence that the makers of Paxil withheld information, this time downplaying the risks of withdrawal symptoms from their own studies. Symptoms range from mild temporary headaches to debilitating electric shock sensations.
Head shocks really throwing me off.
Helen, a British college student, had failed to get off Paxil before. The BBC television network gave her a camera to keep a video diary detailing her next attempt to quit the drug.
Headaches, muscle pains, sweating, trembling. As I take each step, there's this shock in my head that's completely throwing me off balance.
Helen prepares to reduce her dosage further.
Next week, I'll be on half a tablet every day. And to be honest, I'm really dreading it. I've got really awful head shocks. And,
Eventually taking minute liquid doses from a dropper.
oh God.
After 3 months, finally off the drug she never imagined could take her down this path.
I didn't know what it would do to me, and I would have never made the choice to take it had I known.
Paxil is not the only antidepressant which can cause sometimes severe side effects. The Los Angeles law firm Baum Hedlund says they represent 3,000 American clients, claiming the makers of Paxil withheld the facts about withdrawal.
Did GlaxoSmithKline act promptly in getting this information to you?
This is a matter which we are investigating at the present time. There is an investigation going on, being conducted by the inspection and enforcement sector of the agency, and with lawyers to decide whether or not they did.
Do you think 2 years is an acceptable delay?
That is what is being investigated by the lawyers at the present time.
But during that time, we both know that children were being prescribed a drug which we now know is harmful. What do you say to them and to their parents about why that was allowed to happen?
When we received the information, we acted with great rapidity.
I understand that.
We acted within 2 weeks of receiving the information.
I understand that, but why were you not in a position to get that information from them earlier? Did you not know that they were doing studies in children?
That is what is under investigation at the present time.
Might criminal charges be brought then?
That is a possibility.
Richard Brooke believes the only reason GlaxoSmithKline gave the MHRA the results at all was because they wanted a children's licence.
I'm absolutely certain that if Glaxo had not been going for an extension licence, the expert group would not have got to the paediatric information.
And so children could still have been being prescribed a drug that's harmful to them?
I think that's certainly a hypothesis that you can actually believe has got a lot of truth and credibility to it.
Antidepressant drugs have been in the medic's armoury for years. Millions have been prescribed as more and more doctors saw these pills as a chemical answer to depression. But now British researchers have found that many clinical studies were unpublished by the drug companies, and it took a Freedom of Information request to the US Food and Drug Administration to release the documents. Analysing 47 studies, they concluded that the antidepressants were no more effective than a placebo.
People got better when they took antidepressants, but they got almost as much better when they took placebos, and the difference was not clinically meaningful.
According to the study, the drugs, which include popular brands like Prozac and Seroxat, do have a beneficial effect, but it's not significantly more than the psychological impact of a dummy drug. The results have divided opinion among mental health charities.